Fall here, and today we'll be doing a guide for Nostalgic Train. It costs 20.95 AU, and this is a introduction I thought I'd make for the game because I thought this game was quite lovely and unique. So I pre-edited all this footage to make my own little intro into the game. I reckon this game should have had this as an intro because it would have looked awesome, so therefore I did it for it. Gives you a nice view of the surrounding area. And here we are with a nice fade into the menu, so we'll hit new game. And this is where you'll have the story. I 100% recommend reading the story. I will be skipping the story just so it's a faster guide for you, but I 100% recommend that you pause the video, read what you need to read, then unpause if you get stuck to continue on. Has a very good story. So to start off with, I would recommend going into the controls and going into options, then going into control settings and changing the button assignment so that run instead of being LB is RB, because then with RT being search mode, it'll make it that much more easier. Now we can hit search mode, and as you'll see, these little orbs show up, and these are what we have to find to give us a little bit more insight into the story and what we're planning. When you hit Y as well, you'll get a story hint, so if you get stuck, you can look at the story hint over if you're trying to do this without a guide. The story hint will let you know where to go, but once we've collected the one in the train, we collect the one near that, and then the one just off the track here, and the one near the toilet. Then there'll be another one to collect here, and this will allow us to finally leave the train station and start the story of the game. First off, we want to head over here, and then we want to turn around and make our way to the bookstore. Then we want to make our way to the back of the bookstore. There'll be one down at our feet right here. Now we can leave the bookstore, and we can head over to the cafe, and now we can head over to the shrine board. I think that's what it's called. From the school we can head to the river over here. And now the train has lit up, so we can head towards the train. Remember to look both ways before crossing the road. And now we can head onto the train. This is where the doors will close behind us. And you can pick a spot where you want to watch as the train moves. The train itself, each time you get on it and it does this little thing, will present a bright white light. So rather than you have to watch a bright white light appear in your view and blind you, I've color saturated it. Used color saturation to make it less bright and slightly different color. So I thought I would add that in just so you don't think that's part of the game. I just didn't want to blind you with bright white light. Such a pretty view. Now we can head back to the river. From here you can head down to the bottom of the river here. And this will get us our first achievement. And look at that achievement art. All the game has very nice achievement art, and I love games that do that. So this game gets extra points just for its achievement art, in my opinion. Now if you don't want to get your feet wet, you can cross the rocks like I am, or you can just cross the water and collect the next story. You want to turn around and go up these stairs and then follow it down to this awesome river. I wanted to keep an angle on the river when I collected it, so that way you can watch the water flow. Now we want to turn around and we want to follow the old man. I try to keep the orbs on screen for you, that's why I will, even though I know where it is, activate the search function so you can make sure you see it. Let's look at the sky. Didn't want to look at the house while I done it. Or walked on it, I should say. As you notice, the background weather changes to fit the story. I thought that was a really unique and nice feature. It really goes well with the story if you're reading it. I'm gonna make our way into town to look for her. Check the bus stop. The cafe. Then the phone booth. Then the train station. Alright, now we head to where she actually is. And that's near the temple, which is this way. Through the bamboo groves. And now we can head to the train again. I don't recommend it if it's your first playthrough, because I enjoyed doing all the train rides, but if this is more than your first playthrough, you can skip the train ride with B. I'll be doing that for guide purposes to make it faster for you, but I recommend enjoying the train ride. Sit at the front of the train to see the view from that, the back of the train to see the view there, and the right and left side, so you get to see the whole view of the world that they created. Collect the sword. And again, we're following the old man. This will get you another achievement. And we want to head off towards this way. Turning here. Making our way to the port. And if you look just down here, you'll see the story continues. From here we want to head to the Firefly Pond. Make your way over here, and then don't move too far because there'll be another slight story just at the feet of this area up here. Then we can turn around and head down this corridor, alleyway, in between the houses. Head up this way, and just up here near the train station is another one. This will allow us to go back to the grocery store, which, as you can see, it just appeared there. And from there we can make our way to the school. There'll be a few items to collect, and I'm not sure, but I recommend collecting the items we don't need, which is here. And right here, I'm going to make you some money. Look, we found 500 yen, or 5 yen. Yay, I made you a little bit of money. And over here is another one. It's not related, but I recommend collecting it just in case. And this is the one we actually need. And now we can progress the story. You want to turn left. And you want to head up these stairs here. Now we can head down the stairs. And we can catch the train again. Now we can head down this way. And I mean, you can fall into the tracks if you want, but I very carefully walked around the gate. So that way, I could then just walk across nice and gracefully. And we want to head up to the school now. Making our way back to the port. The sequence achievement didn't pop here, but it will for you. I'd also recommend before we collect the next memory, just to have a nice look at this view. Next memory orb is over there, as you can see. Now that we've collected the letter, we can turn around and head this way. The fence has an opening right here to collect this one. And we can head back out that same opening to collect the next one, which is just up here. This is where we follow the kids. First one will appear here, and then the preceding ones will appear straight after collecting the first one, as you can see. Once we go through here, on our left will be the next one, where the guy is sitting on the beach. From there, just across here, we'll have a couple more. Where he invites them to his house, which is where we will have to head off next. His house is located very close by, just over here. Before we walk into the orb, we're going to look at the sky. And that is the next memory done. And from there you can head straight down here. Then we get to go down a path we haven't gone down before, on our left here. Then we can head off to our right. Crossing the train tracks. Again, we can cross the train tracks to get this next one. And then we can head to the cafe. And then that's when the delayed achievement popped for that last memory, which threw me off. So now we can head behind the cafe like I was originally going to collect the next memory. Before crossing to get the other orb, make sure you get these two. If you read one of them, you'll know, and if you've been reading the story, what it relates to. Go up these stairs, and then to your right, and you'll see the one on the house, right here. and then we go down this way and head to the left, and then we follow this road, and then we'll be heading off into the right into the mountains. And from here, we can now rush back to the main strip. Heading to the bookcase bookshop, sorry, not bookcase, where a very interesting development of the story happens without spoilers. So now we can head behind the shop. And now we can head to the train again for our last train ride. Now we can head to the same spot we were at, between the bookshop alley, well, behind the bookshop really, through this alleyway. And this will get us another achievement for finishing another fragment memory. And now we can head to the main road again, collect the next memory, and start heading this way. And we're going to learn about the Lantern Festival tradition. Once you collect this one, we will be heading up to the left which is the mountain path, and this is where we will be learning a lot about the story. So I really recommend reading it if you've been reading up until now. Now we can head down to the river overlook, I guess you'd call it. And then we can head down here. Following the memories as they appear and as we collect them. Heading up to the shrine again. Before we leave after reading this memory, I do recommend looking out to the view, because as you can see, it's a really nice view, especially with it at night time for this particular memory. And that's the next memory done. And your next achievement. And now it's foggy. This next memory takes a little bit to show up. Right here. continuing to follow the old man again. And that is the story completed. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed the scenery and stuff. We will be now doing the free roam mode, so just wait till it goes back to the main menu and then we can continue with free mode. This is where we have to collect a bunch of items, and for each one we collect we will get an achievement. So the first one you want to collect is in the train here. Each one will have a nice picture, as I mentioned earlier, that could be used as a background for your Xbox background. This one's at the benches. And then when we head outside, there's one near the vending machines. They have some very interesting information if you choose to read it. The next one is at this billboard here. Okay, that's done that way. The next one's at the bookshop. Then the convenience store, or general store, depends on what you want to call it. Then the cafe. Then the billboard on the summer festival. Then at the elementary school is our next one. Then a fun fact about pipes that was actually quite interesting in my opinion. Then we can go up this shrine. There will be 2 up here. One is near the water. And the other is near those benches that we've been to a couple of times. If you remember the night view of the overlook, then I recommend taking a few seconds to look at the daytime view. From here we want to head into the firefly field. In free mode the train does wander, so you can actually get on it and ride it. Firefly pond, sorry, I said field. Then we want to head to the pier. Taking one last look at the pier water. And from there we want to head up to this sign. Then we want to head down to this pathway. This is where the burial mound is. Before we collect that one, we want to head down to the beach and collect the one about the beach. I'm going to give myself a nice view of the beach before I collect it. Then we want to head over this way and collect the one we saw earlier about the Jinzos. Jizo, I'm not sure, I'm probably butchering it. Then we want to head through the bamboo field. This next one's sort of hard to see, so I'm going to look down at it for you. This one here, as you can see in the grass. The bamboo grove. Then we want to head up the mountain path. Collecting this one. Now we can follow the mountain path. And you can see the Final Hope Falls. I want to show it because it's really nice. Now we can head this way for the last 2 that we need. One is in the rice fields. And now we can go to the last one, which if you've read the story, you'll recognize it as the place where the story pretty much begins. And that is our second last achievement. Upon getting that one, you will pop the last achievement. That is for reading all the memory fragments. And that is our 1000G. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoyed this game.